It's
You
the
know, the
Paris
wine calms
Talk
Wine
everything.
helps everything.
Show.
Yeah, I know. I love wine. So now you was talking about working for Mondavi.
Hmm.
I met a guy. Oh God, I'm blanking on his name. He was a nice man. He lives up in Napa, and he was the photographer. His main job, and he wanted to do fine art so badly,
Mm.
but his main gig was shooting all the Gallo
Oh,
stuff. Do you
really?
know this guy, Gallo? And that's one of the.
Yeah.
It's like not a high end wine, but
Well, I mean, they have high-end
I mean,
stuff now,
but it
but
was, he did that for years. That he would just go and shoot all the wine, shoot the vineyards, shoot all the photographs that had to do with that wine. He did them all, and he was saying, it put my girls through college, but it wasn't fulfilling for me to do. But it was how I made money. But I'm like, but you're still lucky that you get paid to be doing what you love, because even if I always tell people, yet not everyone's going to be like, at the Getty Museum, but you have
right.
to start somewhere and you have to do, as long as you're doing something with the camera in your hand, you're working and you're getting paid, you are a photographer. Even if someone's paying you to do a wedding, that's a photography job.
Oh,
Like
I
some
know.
people hate doing it, but it keeps you in your craft and it keeps you in your game and it keeps you getting good with the camera.
Yeah.
So you can't poo poo anything, but
Yep.
so because it's not easy for every single person in the world to be a Maplethorpe. It's not going to happen for a lot of people. But
Right.
as long as you're doing something and it's art and you're producing, that's working. And I respect that and appreciate that.
Yeah.
I just tell people you're still doing your photography, so don't complain.
I mean, it's still kind of the same.
Yeah,
You're using the same tools. I always
yeah.
say that, in fact, I just had this conversation with Rob Mondavi the other
Hmm.
day because he was laughing and walked up to me and he said, his son RM is 14 years old. And he goes, my son, thought that you were a wedding photographer. And I'm like, I said, I don't want to say anything derogatory about wedding photographers.
Yeah,
Some of them are amazing, right?
yeah,
But I will never shoot anyone's wedding.
yeah,
And I said, I won't even shoot your wedding, RM. And
yeah,
he goes, when I found out that you shoot rock stars, like you became,
yeah,
now he's interested in getting to know me.
yeah.
Before that he was like, is a wedding photographer? And I'm like, man,
I
some of those
know.
guys are so artful. It's like
Yeah,
that's a whole
no,
thing.
it's
But
a whole nother thing. Yeah, but it's just it's keeping people in their craft. But I was just thinking about that because we were talking about wineries. So now, which wineries are you at now?
so I do a bit of quote unquote consulting, and I say
Mm-hmm.
quote unquote because anytime I ever had a corporate job, I thought the consultants just was another way of saying unemployed. But I know how to fix things with distributors, having worked for
Yeah.
Southern for a long time and having worked with big wineries for a long time. So I work on a couple of labels now. Have a label called Lloyd Cellars,
Mm-hmm.
which is Napa based. It's Chardonnay and Pinot, and then we have another label under Lloyd called Prescription, and then Chris Pierce, who we talked about, and I had a label called Ledbetter, which is
Okay.
kind of a throw over to the Pearl Jam guys. They've had Ledbetter wine. There's a
Yeah,
song, Yellow Ledbetter, probably my
that's
favorite
cool.
song.
So you're
But
making the wine? Is
I
that you?
make the wine on Ledbetter, yeah. Yeah, and
Oh,
we've done that. This would be our 20th year, and we did take a few years off, but it's the 20th year of the business. We took a few years off mainly because of COVID and it was just
yeah.
impossible to get anything
Well,
done.
that
So
really stopped a lot of things, didn't it?
unreal.
And even we were talking about how the restaurants are struggling now in Los Angeles. We have so many beautiful, I mean, famous restaurants that have been there
Yeah,
for many, many years. They're just gone one day. I mean, it's happened to me at least like 6 times in the last couple of years where I want to go somewhere and I drive up and it's gone.
and it's gone.
And it's the weirdest things that have been there forever.
I know.
It's just really, really sad. I hope that changes real soon.
Yeah, I mean, I hope it stops,
Yeah, I
before we lose
know, but
more of
I
our good
think
ones.
I don't think it's like that anywhere else. I think that's LA. Maybe it's because we got hit twice now with COVID and the fires, so
Yeah.
maybe it's just too hard. But then, then there's those restaurants that just can't stop doing, selling, and they're
Oh
always
my
going to be
gosh.
doing great, right? Like
I was at
Spago. There's nothing's going to kill
yeah.
that place
No, it's
ever.
just got this
It just
following
keeps
and
going
name, and
strong. Yeah.
I was at shout out to Taylor's Steakhouse downtown
Okay.
LA. That place I think has been going since the early 50s.
Oh my god, I haven't been there in a
It's
long time.
oh my
That's where you
God.
were? That's the old school place?
Yeah.
Oh god, it's dark. I just
It's
went
awesome.
I actually recently went there. I like that
I
place.
think it's my favorite restaurant in LA.
You know,
It's legendary.
I have to take my son there. We're due for a good steak, but I went and had Korean barbecue the other night.
Mhm.
Man, that was one of the best steaks I've ever had. There was a restaurant on Western, and I don't want to say it wrong, but it was it
Yeah.
was so good.
It's safe.
I love Korean
Yeah.
barbecue.
Oh, yeah.
It's the Paris Chong Show.